Welcome back to the channel, guys. My name is Gordon Frayne. Today we are back talking about Solana. What is happening on the charts? Are we having a breakout as we speak? Let's dive into it. Let's talk about it. But before we do, make sure to hit that subscribe button below. Smash that bell notification icon. If you get any value out of the video, make sure to smash that thumbs up button below as well. And you've got a completely free copy of The Rise of Bitcoin waiting for you below this video. Go ahead, grab it below, and let's talk about Solana. So it has been a painful couple of months for all of you Solana holders. We could be on the precipice of that turning around. I don't want to get too far ahead of myself here when we're looking at the chart, but just maybe we are getting a little bit of a breakout of this downtrend as we speak. I'm currently looking at the daily chart for Solana and monitoring what's been happening here over the past 48 hours or so. Yes, we had some positive news over the past week or so with a 90-day pause on the tariffs from the United States against most other nation states except for China, although there have been some exceptions coming in for China as well. And what you've seen is Bitcoin equities across the board and Solana now following in hot pursuit, making moves to the upside. If we zoom in on the chart here, you can see that we bottomed out here. We did go as low as about $95, $96 here on the 7th of April. We've been moving up since then, and looking at this downtrend that we've technically been in since those middle of January highs, again, shout out or jumping back to the Trump token launch, this is what saw the price of Solana spike up to almost $300 per token. And since that, we had a natural pullback, of course, with the hype draining from there, but then you had the whole Libra token with Javier Milei in Argentina, which tarnished the reputation of Solana a little bit. We did keep dropping lower, not just due to Solana, but Bitcoin and the entire market across the board pulling back over the past couple of months. But as we're looking to the most recent daily candles here, you can see us poking up above this downtrend that we've been in since those middle of January highs. Okay, I've been saying it for the past couple of months. For me, nothing has fundamentally changed with Solana as a layer one scalable, highly efficient, highly cost-effective blockchain. And I think all of this area, essentially between 95 and 150, where we've been hanging out here for the past couple of months, has been a potentially good buying opportunity. Again, this is not financial advice, guys. Always make sure to do your own research when it comes to investing, when it comes to technical analysis, and always do the fundamental research yourself. But we're back up to a price of $128. We did touch on 131 in the past couple of hours, but we're poking above this downtrend. That bodes pretty well for me in terms of the potential for us to begin moving a little bit higher, especially if we get a close for today's daily candle around this $128 to $130 area. If I'm looking at the chart and just eyeballing it very, very quickly, we could be experiencing a little bit more resistance by the time we get to 148, 150, and then moving higher to approach the 200-day simple moving average here, which we lost all the way back on the 17th of February. That would be the next major level. It lines up with around 178 to 180 at the moment on the chart. I think we've got those two next key levels of resistance above us if we can see Solana getting above here, closing above this trend and continuing to move a little bit higher. As I said, from an on-chain technical standpoint, nothing has changed a huge amount for me. If we look at the top net flows and do a chain comparison over the past 3 months, essentially going back to the beginning of January, you can see here that Solana has had, technically speaking, the fourth largest amount of net flows. If I zoom in on this particular chart here, we know that there's lots of capital always flowing in and out of different blockchains, but technically speaking, over the last 3 months, you have Base with the top net flows by not layer 1 and layer 2. You've got Sonic and Berachain, the two newer kids on the block, with rebrands and upgrades of these chains happening in Q1. So you're seeing a lot of incentives for liquidity providers to bring capital into both Sonic and Berachain. And then Solana is technically the fourth largest in terms of net flows over the past 3 months. I do anticipate this continuing to go even more into the positive as we move through Q2 of this year. And the other thing that we've been watching here, and again, this is more related to Bitcoin, but we know this flows into the rest of the market thereafter as well, is the global M2 liquidity index. We've seen and we've been watching the fact that global M2 has been increasing since the middle of January, and Bitcoin typically does not follow that until about 8 to 12 weeks later. We're currently looking at global M2 with a 75-day offset. Many people argue 105 or 108-day offset is statistically more accurate. But what that means is by the time we get towards the end of April, we could be seeing Bitcoin beginning to follow this global M2 liquidity index to the upside. And of course, we know when Bitcoin makes a 5 or 10% move to the upside, Solana very frequently makes a 10 to 20% move in the immediate aftermath. So I think this is boding well for Solana and where we're at right now. We did see this support holding by the time we got down here to the $100 mark. And we're moving back to the upside again. Finally, if we look at the chain compare again here, as I was saying for the past couple of months, nothing has fundamentally changed. You're still seeing a huge amount of activity happening on Solana. Daily active addresses, daily transactions. Solana is still blowing most other blockchains out of the water when it comes to its consistency and growth from a daily active addresses and daily transaction standpoint. You can see that we're consistently doing 5 to 6 million daily active addresses on Solana, nearest competitor being Near, and then Tron in the kind of 2 to 3 million daily active addresses region. And when it comes to daily transactions, again, you can see that Solana is pretty much dwarfing everything here, even with all of the activity happening. And even with a kind of slowdown in the past month or two, you could argue it's still doing consistently 70, 80, 90 million daily transactions very consistently, with Tron, Near, and Base coming in second place, less than 10% of what Solana is doing on a daily basis. Now, I know you can argue a lot of this is bots, a lot of this is AI agents. Yeah, I'm sure you can, but you can't argue that it's just so far ahead in terms of actual use and throughput from a blockchain standpoint. Okay, last time I made a price prediction for Solana, I did take a look at these numbers here. We were looking at a bear case of $388. Again, thinking about the variables at play here, this was with total crypto market cap going to about 5 trillion US dollars. The base case getting to about 7 trillion, putting Solana with a price target of just over $650. And then the most bullish case scenario with a $9 trillion total crypto market cap and Solana going to $960 plus per token. I still think some of these are very, very possible. Yes, it's been a rough couple of months, but I want you to comment below this video, guys, if you want an updated price prediction for Solana. It's been a couple months since I ran these numbers, and there's new variables at play. There's new sentiment around Solana, lots of growth happening, fire dancer upgrades. I want to make an updated price prediction, so if there's enough comments and enough demand for an updated price target for Solana in a bear case, base case, and bull case scenario, please do let me know below this video. Again, we can see if this breakout essentially plays out the way that it's looking like it is, we could be about to move a little bit higher for Solana. So keep that in mind, guys. Again, make sure to do your own research. If you are interested in generating yield and income and earning money from doing liquidity provision on Solana, I'm doing this myself. I'm helping a whole bunch of people over in the UIG community. There's a link below this video for the UIG. I want you to check it out. Again, there's a completely free course. Even if you don't want to buy anything, there's a completely free course you can do for liquidity provision over here within the UIG. Again, I'm helping a lot of high-level clients to earn, generate yield, and generate passive income on Solana using DEXs like Orca, Radium, protocols like DeFi Tuna, different strategies for Delta Neutral, so that your capital remains safe and you're still generating 5 to 10% per month on your capital. Head on over, check it out yourself. And finally, today's video is also sponsored by Femex, the most efficient crypto trading and investment platform. Make sure to check it out in the description below. Of course, you can buy, sell, trade Solana directly over on Femex. It's a fantastic exchange. I know the guys behind it, and they are a decent bunch of people. Check it out for yourself. Again, not financial advice. Always do your own research. Solana is in a little bit of a better place than it was this time 7 days ago. Still plenty of ground to make up compared to those January highs. But if Bitcoin can get above its downtrend, and if Solana can get above its downtrend respectively, I do think there is scope for us to push a little bit higher from here. Lots of opportunity on the table. take it with a pinch of salt, do your own research, guys. Again, if you got any value out of today's video, make sure to give it a thumbs up below, hit that subscribe button as well, smash the bell notification icon, and you've got a completely free copy of my book, The Rise of Bitcoin, waiting for you in the description. Grab it if you want. It's down below, a PDF copy, and we'll catch you in the next one.